places, afterlives that only the dead may claim through their ultimate sacrifice. This is no place for the sweating, grunting haste of mortal creatures. Peace must be returned to these lands, the peace of death eternal. And if it must be won through the act of war, so be it. It is our duty to slay, to be the personification of death, and that is enough, for it is a fine thing. Let us rejoice, for Lord Nagash has given us an eternity in which to make our vision of purity a reality.
Arch-Kavalos Zandtos is a fiercely competent general, second only in martial wisdom to Catacross himself. As the Arch-Kavalos of the Osirach Empire, he leads the charge of Bone Reapers into an era of Arcanium Optima. It is his wish to purify Shyish by eradicating all living things within it, even should it take all eternity. Attribution Zandtos, the Dark Lance, is the only general from Catacross's former existence whom the Mortarch has allowed to remain whole, for he has not a shred of ambition to rise above his current rank. Instead, he focuses his efforts purely on causing the greatest amount of damage possible to the living of Shyish, wielding his armies of extermination forces to systematically eradicate everything in the realm that draws breath. It is his fervent belief that the living have no place in Shyish. If he has to ensure their demise in person, he will do so, for his lance arm never tires, and neither do his extensive armies. Even in mortal life, Zandtos considered himself a purist, eschewing distractions for the single-minded pursuit of the morbid arts. For over 60 years he served as an assassin, a mortisan, revering death even as he inflicted it on those he had been employed to kill. Riding his black destrier towards his victims on a lonely road, he would end them swiftly, inflicting the killing blow with almost loving care. Unusually for an assassin, he would not flee the sight of the murder, but inter the slain with great honour, despite the hard labour of digging their grave and scooping out their organs and stitching their wounds close to make them presentable after the kill. Zandtos would perform these tasks professionally and without complaint. As with all the stoics of his morbid home nation, upon his death Zandtos found himself in the underworld of Osir. There, the credo of hard work being its own reward meant that the underworld thrived even in death. And as a mortisan, Attribution Zandtos found the neatness and austerity and order of Osir very much to his liking. Then came Sigmar. In settling Osir, the God King seeded the lands with filthy and ignorant barbarians that would kill their enemies amongst great nuisance, noise and mess, leaving the corpses to be pecked apart by carrion birds. Zandtos looked upon a new atrocity each day and was enraged to the point of violence. At first, he waged his genocidal war alone, but as time passed, more and more like-minded spectres joined his cause. When the great general Catacross rose to prominence in Ossia, and Necros Zandtos approached him with a proposal, over the course of a long symposium, they made common cause with the might of the Ostrian Echelon beside him. Zandtos could further his goals of eradicating the living from Shyish 10 times faster, and end their threat and their untidy, unsanitary and ill-disciplined savage posed to the underworlds. What began as a desire for order and peace turned into something far bleaker when Catacross bestowed upon Zandtos the Dark Lance, a lethal blade and rod of office alike. That arcane weapon focuses the intent of whoever wields it, reinforcing their conviction with each life it takes, so its wielder can remain free from human foibles such anxiety or doubt. In Zandtos' hands, it has intensified his wish for death to rule over all, at the cost of his desire to put all things in their right place. Since the coming of the Necroquake, the Arch-Kavalos has forsaken the Mortisan drive to ensure the dignity and repose of the dead. Instead, he focuses only on the ending of all living things, on the bringer of blessed stillness after the thunder and wrath of battle, and leaves behind him the same disorder he once despised. It is quite possible he will slaughter his way across all of Shyish, bringing the realm of death one leap closer to Nagash's Necrotopia. And that is my short lore video on Arch-Kavalos Zandtos. So I think, firstly, he has got to be my favourite model from all of the Oshra Bone Reaper range. And I know Catacross is an awesome model and it's like a diorama itself. But Zandtos for me was the model I saw when they were teasing pictures and everything. And I was like, yes, that is why I want to do that army. And his mount just looks really, really, no other word for it, but awesome. It's a fantastic model. And then when you learn about the lore, like we have in this video, it shows that he's very much quite different from, let's just say, a Liege-Kavalos, you know, like the alternative build from that model kit. As Zandtos is, if you like, fully conscious with just his soul inside him, because a lot of the Bone Reapers are made up with bones of several different corpses and also several different souls to propose the best warrior or tactician needed for the job, whereas Zandtos is just himself. He is that good at what he does. He doesn't need two souls inside him. He is very, very cool. Something that's quite interesting as you sort of like hear the story. It's kind of a tale of what made him who he is. And firstly, he wanted to make Shyish a realm of unending order completely. He was tired of the mess and the nuisance of what it was the living in general, but I think more directed at the forces of order, and in particularly Sigmar's lot were making across all of Shyish. And particularly how he used to be assassin, he used to always make clean deaths and they used to always tidy it up. It was quite a nice, interesting trait, I thought, and very much to his culture. But now he has such hatred for the living, and especially with his new weapon that was gifted to him by Catacross, he is just as bloody as any of the barbarians to make his wish of unending order and unending death upon Shyish, and of course the realms beyond. But what I think is quite cool there is if you want to have quite a narrative-driven, let's say, campaign with you and your buddy, playing some games, and you have a Ostrich Bone Reaper army, or your buddy does, who you want to play this campaign with. Zandtos is a great character for it because he is very much situated in the realm of death, and his goal is to, you know, claim it for death as a whole, or, you know, for Nagash's Necrotopia. It almost reminds me of Korgus Cole, I believe his name was, the Mighty Lord of Khorne that came in the big Star collecting box we had for Age of Sigmar when that first came out, and his goal was to capture the entirety of the Realm of Fire for Khorne. That was the dedication. Zandtos is quite similar, but for Nagash, and really just for his ideology of death is the only order possible. And when that leads into Nagash, it's because that is very much what Nagash believes. The only will that is needed is his own, to ensure a never-ending order and to wipe out the Chaos Gods. I just want to quickly say that Zandtos, also like on the table as a little side thing, I think he's pretty cool. He very much reflects his law and his rules. He is very much against everything that's not dead, but in particularly the living, in terms of rerolls and stuff he can get. And it's a question of, like, is he as good as the you know, normal Liege-Kavalos, because, you know, he can't take an artifact and he can't take a command trait. That's always going to be a problem. But what I would say is that compared to some of the named characters out there that you can build a normal version in a kit, he stands a better chance at being able to be his own, and in particularly if he is put in the Mortis Praetorian sub-legions, then he is basically made even better, as he is, you know, Catacross's second-hand man and everything like that, and it all just fits really, really nicely. So he's got plenty of use on the table, and it's not one of those cases of awesome model, never used. He is something I would definitely use if I have one. Funny enough, I actually do have one of those kits, and it is actually built as a Liege-Kavalos. And the reason behind that is because I bought it already built and everything, and I got it for a good price. So the next one I built, I definitely want to be Arch-Kavalos Zandtos, and the reason for why it's quite good to have him as the second one is because I want to build him. I think he'd be a great kit to work with, and it's something I look forward to when I return to my Ostrich Bone Reapers. So guys, with that, I very much hope you enjoyed this video. Please comment below any questions you have of him. If you've used him in your game, it'll be absolutely great to hear, or if you're fascinated by his lore. It'll be absolutely fantastic to hear that. What I would say is, if you did enjoy this video, please smash that like button and that subscribe button, as it lets YouTube and most importantly myself know that you enjoyed this video and you want to see these sorts of videos continue. Absolutely great to hear that. I would also like to say a massive shout out to my patrons who do a fantastic job, and because of them I can continue this channel. You should be able to see them on the screen now. Brilliant people. And if you'd like to support the channel as well, you'll find a link to my Patreon at the top of the description down below. And anything you can give, guys, even just $1 a month, really is the reason behind how I can continue to produce lore videos and everything else I do on this channel to try and help you out. So with that, guys, I'm going to again thank you very much for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Remember, until next time, to stay safe, stay hygienic and wear a mask. And of course, remember, Nagash is all, and all is one in Nagash.